Okay, well, welcome, you guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I know we will have people popping on, but you guys, thank you for plugging in live. I do know that, like back in the day, if we did a workshop like this, because we did, it was always in Dallas. There was a red jacket, there was a director piece. I love this because our people all over the country can take part in the workshop, hear training from our top people, gather at the beginning of the Mary Kay year, which is July, and gather at the beginning of the new year, which is January. So that's called Get Your Year in Gear. You can mark your calendar right now, save the date. It's the first Saturday in January 2023, the 7th of January. You can save it. I always give you at least 5.5 months, save the date detail, so you can protect it and save it. I do my best with all the events to give you 5 months notice so that you can save the date. And the company, because they rent huge spaces, seminar for next year is already scheduled. You know, leadership in Nashville in January is already scheduled. The top director's trip to Barcelona and Mallorca already scheduled. So thank you for being here. I was thinking as I was, getting ready this morning, it's like, thank you. I mean, I think people think that as you move up the career path that you don't have any feelings. Like it doesn't matter if you invest, 40 hours in editing a movie for recognition for your people, or another 40 hours designing a workbook and setting the time aside yourself. Like that, if people don't show up, your feelings aren't kind of hurt, I guess. But what God teaches you in your business is first you have hostesses that bail on you. You have customers that bail on you. You have friends and family when you start your business that you think are going to be excited and supportive. And they may be like, I remember my mom saying, "Oh, great. Are you going to do Avon and Tupperware too?" When I said I was starting my Mary Kay business, because they weren't really excited. And not that there's anything wrong with Avon and Tupperware, but I did not come from a family that recognized direct sales as a legitimate career. They had just put me through the University of Michigan and were so excited to tell their friends about the job I was recruited for. And I don't think Mary Kay made that same list. It didn't have the same value or status. And so some start right off with family and friends. Your husband may not get it. Your sister may not get it. Your best friend may not get it. But if you make it through that, it's kind of like a hazing process in Mary Kay. Do you want this bad enough that you're willing, regardless of other people's choices, to proceed? And so you first learn how to protect your heart with friends and family. Then you learn it with your customers. Then you learn it with hostesses. Then you learn it with recruits. And then you learn it with directors. And that I love that I couldn't just start as a national sales director because I had the business degree, because honestly, I wouldn't be a very good one, because everything I've learned that allows me to coach and mentor you with integrity and with experience, I learned along the way. So welcome. Some of you are brand new in this last month, brand new in this last seminar year. This is your first workshop that you've come to. Thank you for trusting your director. Those who are doing this repeatedly, you've been to Get Your Year in Gear, thank you for being loyal and respecting my time, because I found in Mary Kay, when you're going to be treated how you treat other people. And that's something I saw with Debbie and Kathy. I saw with Mary Kay, with Daleen White. They respected the leadership that was put in their life, and thus then they had respect from the people who were following them. So I appreciate your time. Do know, though, that if you have people that told you on your team they were going to be on, or directors, unit members, I spent the first part of my business as a director, honestly, at success meetings, leading a success meeting live, but in my mind, thinking about that person who just told me that they needed the exact training I was doing that night and they didn't show up because it was inconvenient or uncomfortable. Or the person who didn't show up and the next day they're calling me for the exact encouragement or information that I took the time to provide away from my family and my time and my business for them. And what I realized is that stay present. I encourage you all to stay present. right now. It doesn't matter who's on or who's not. You are. You're listening to this. Some people will be listening to the playback. This will be, this is recording. Good, I remembered. This will be in 4 sections on my YouTube, and the workbook will be on my website so people can go back through. Directors, you could use this for the next 4 weeks of training. Rewatch this segment. Let's talk about it at our meeting. That's your unit meeting training for the next 4 weeks. But I encourage all of you, let go of who's here and who's not here. Let go of what has or hasn't happened in July so far. Let go of where your seminar year end ended, whether it was excellent. It's time to stop celebrating and to focus forward. If it wasn't excellent, it's time to stop focusing on the past and move forward. Let's just take this day and see what God wants to do with it. When I was praying about what is the theme for today, it is, are you willing? Because what I have found in Mary Kay, it is not your personality. It's not the season of life you're in. It's not, who your director is or isn't. It's not the part of the country you live in. It's not the economic climate in our country. It's not what's going on with Mary Kay. It's your willingness. It's your willingness. So the people who you're going to hear train, they were willing to sell over $40,000 retail. They were willing to share this opportunity with at least 24 women that were backed by qualified orders. They were willing to lead their units to Malibus, Equinoxes, Cadillacs, unit clubs, trips, and beyond. And then at the tail end of this, we start with myself as a national and we end it with a retired national. So her perspective is even different than mine. I have 5.5 years before I'm walking in Sue Ubel's shoes. You guys are going to get to hear from her perspective. And isn't it true? I don't know. As I get older in parenting, business, taking care of my health, spiritually, everything gets a lot clearer in retrospect. So I'm going to share with you how to maximize today. And then Sue is going to, in between, we're going to share all the whys and hows, not all of them, because there's more than you need to know of whys and hows. You're going to have enough whys and hows to leave this. And if you combine it with your willingness, I guarantee you we will be an inner circle, national area, and you will reach your goals. There's never been in my 36 years, as we head into the company's 60-year anniversary. You guys think about that. 60 years ago, if you're brand new, or if you're pretending I'm brand new, like my past is past, you guys, that's what I'm doing. I've had a career I'm proud of and I'm excited about, but it's done. Like, we are heading into our first inner circle year, and it's a bigger jump than it was for me to earn a car as a consultant. It's a bigger jump than it was for me to become a director and earn a Cadillac 6 months later. It's a bigger jump than going from a director to a national. It's the biggest jump I've ever had to make in my career. But you know what I love is the bigger the jump is, the bigger the God gap is. If you think you can do it, there's no God gap. On the other side of it, your faith isn't grown. You know no more about him. And you guys, that makes me tear up when I think of a God gap this big. He's going to have to do it. But he's already done it this year. And he's done it in many of your lives already, and you know it. And if you haven't experienced that in a while, wow, today could be the most exciting day of your whole life. To think about, what can my life look like next year at this time? Because I'll be doing these workshops 5 more times before I'm an emeriti. Where do you want to be? How big are you willing to make that gap, but not just willing to make the gap, willing to trust him, plug into him, and do the work. Be obedient. Something that I've been listening to, and I encourage you to stay posted on our Facebook fan page. It's where I do area recognition, but also it's where I post what God's laying on my heart, what I'm reading, what I'm hearing from him. And God puts us together as a body. You are not accidentally in my area. You are not accidentally in Mary Kay right now. You aren't. God's very purposeful. He's very strategic. It may not make sense to us at times because his ways are so different than ours. But on my Facebook fan page, I've been posting some of a series called Cuffing Season. Michael Todd is the pastor, Transformation Church. They have a podcast, or you can go on YouTube and easily find it. I just go on YouTube and say cuffing 3, cuffing 4, cuffing 5, and it pops up. It's being watched a lot. It's popular. But you guys combine that, because cuffing is, what are you cuffed to? We're all cuffed to things that have held us back to this point in time. And sometimes you don't even know what you don't know because you've believed it your whole life, because it started in you as a child. It's what you saw as a child in your family. It's what you saw in religion as a child. It's what a teacher told you, a friend told you. You guys, Satan works for the people closest to you. If he can't get you through the back door, he's going straight through the front. And it doesn't mean those people didn't love you and that they enabled that, but Satan's going to take whatever opportunity he can to lie to you, to twist the truth, to think that you can't do this, you're undeserving of it. And this series is so excellent because so far in the fourth one, it has been, it points out things that we're cuffed to that you may not even realize. Do yourself a favor. Mary Kay said, you read something positive every day and you listen to something every day. And so switch off between boot camp. She always said, listen to a Mary Kay CD every day, and cuffing season. Directors have masters in cuffing season. I think that you're going to find that's very supportive, because training and willingness will only take you so far if you don't get rid of the stuff that's held you back to date. Does that make sense? People think they just need to add on more skill and they need to do more. Very often, to move up, you have to let go of stuff. Very often. It's not necessarily your to-do list that has to be added onto. It's your not to-do list that needs to be refined and defined. So, we're in a brand new year. Congratulations, you guys. We had our best year ever. And do know that every single thing, whether you're recognized on our area movie, and if you're not, pick a place to be recognized next year. We're teaching you how to do it. All your tracking is right in your workbook. But it is the start of a brand new year. And I love that. We're only 2 weeks into it. You can have anything you want, literally. You could be a brand new consultant right now, and you can be on stage at seminar for Queen's Court of Sales, Queen's Court of Recruiting, and Unit Club. We've seen people do 2 of the courts in 6 months. So my gauntlet has been thrown down. Who's going to do it between now and December? If you're a consultant, that makes you a director and a free car driver. If you're a director, that moves you up exponentially. That helps fill in the God gap, because your choices are what God works through. Let's be clear. The God gap is not going to be filled if you are not making the choices to book, coach, sell, and recruit. He works through people. Those are all the stories in the Bible. We wouldn't have a Bible if he didn't work through people. Think about it. It's a story of how he's worked through people from the very beginning. And so he wants to work through you. He wants to work through you. And isn't it crazy? He picked a cosmetic company. He picked a retired woman in the 60s who was disgruntled and frustrated by the things that she felt were unfair, and are still unfair. But she decided, instead of just complaining about it, she was going to do something about it. And she listened to the Lord, and she started this company. You guys think 60 years, you're part of a woman following what God told her to do with 9 women. Mary Kay Ash would tell us, I never thought this company would go beyond Dallas, Texas. Think about that. Think about your dream that you act on, affecting women in a multi-global company all over the world. All over the world. She was just one woman, just like you are. You guys don't offend God. Don't tell him, that you can't. Yeah, he just said, I showed you. Mary Kay did. Why can't you? What are you telling God when you say you can't do it? I'm not enough. Why me? You guys, that's like saying he doesn't know what he's doing when he made you. He doesn't know what he's doing when he, works through you. I don't know. I mean, I know I'm going to have a lot of conversations with him in heaven that aren't going to be really pleasant because I know there's been too many times that I've based, my decisions not on who he is, but the world's picture of me, traditions, all the stuff that we're cuffed to. I would go back through my 36, when I retire, 36, 37, 38, 39, 41 years in Mary Kay. I would go back through every single cancellation, every heartbreak, every frustration, all over again for the transformation, for the personal growth, professional growth, spiritual growth, all of it. I mean, honestly, I started it for the finances and the trips and the 5-carat rings. That's why I started. I would give all of those things away for the other things previously mentioned. All of them. And God knew that, but isn't he smart that he gives all? Do you need a ring? Do you need community? Do you need cash? Do you need a car? Do you need recognition? Do you need a platform? What do you need? Whatever you need. He's like, okay, right here, you got it. It's just gonna look a lot different than you thought. So you guys, for today, I wanna go through how to maximize using this workshop and this booklet. Oh, the lady, seriously, when you worry about like, how would I manage all this? You guys, I can't design this stuff. I know the training and the stuff that I want to have happen and what's important, but I can't design it. But God provides a great graphic designer. And literally, I sent her scrap pieces of paper, yellow legal pads, Voxer messages, text messages, pictures, and sticky notes. And she comes up with this. Same thing with the video you see. When I watched it, I started crying. She came up with stuff, the launch of it. I'm like, that was brilliant. And she goes, I know legacy is important to you. And that's why I designed it that way. You guys, God will provide every single person you need to support you. If you're willing to do your piece, you do your piece and he's going to provide. He provided amazing women to help me with my kids, amazing women in my office and still does. Now virtual assistants and he still does. He's got it all. He's got it all. You just have to be willing. So let's look at this. At this workbook, on the front of it, it has my email. It has my address. It has my website. So there's lots of things on my website under events, under July workshop. You're going to have some extra resources that our sales and recruiting team may be talking about. If there's something that we don't have there, just message your director and we will get that placed in there for you. Facebook fan page. There's resources there from today. You guys, I don't want you going to the website right now, and I don't want you going to the Facebook page right now. We're going to be undistracted. We're going to be present. We're forgetting about the past. We're seeing what we need to move forward. And so these are things that you can use after, because then I want you to have as much time as possible with real life people talking versus resources that you can look at on your own. And then my YouTube channel. So that has tons of resources on it. And after this, by tomorrow or Monday, all 4 of our sessions will be on YouTube so that you can re-listen to it. And the workbook is on my website. Also on my website, a section you may be interested in is everything skincare class. Directors know that in my director login, all the support materials are for masters. Really, in my website, everything skincare class and new consultants is going to be the section you're going to want to focus the most on, because when you say, are you willing? I want to ask, are you willing to be a brand new consultant all over again? And do what brand new consultants do. We ask that brand new consultants book 8 parties to hold 5. It's called a perfect start. In the workbook, if you go to page 7, and you don't need to look at that now, but it's the perfect start dialogue. and the Power Start dialogue. I have built my whole business on that dialogue. If you're not new, just fill in the gap. I'm earning a car. I'm going into leadership. I'm, taking my family to Disney at Christmas, and that's my goal. Whatever it is, instead of being new, just fill that goal in. The script hasn't changed. I haven't used a different script for 36 years. So there's a perfect start, which is book 8 to hold 5 parties. Maybe that's your goal in July. Or a power start is to book 10, to book 8, 16. So from your first 5 parties for your perfect start, book 8 more to hold 5 more. And in virtual, you may hold all 8, but 3 are duds. So in virtual, you may not have cancellations of people not having you come over, but you have no sales and no people interacting with you. Same difference. So 10 parties in the month is called a power start. And then a pearls of sharing is 15 people that you get in front of the opportunity for an interview, not marketing, an interview. They're different. And so I'm encouraging everyone, if you're willing, are you really willing to go back to the foundation? Because it's always best to go back to a foundation and shore it up. We've been in the process of a year-long, started as a kitchen renovation and turned into a whole house renovation, from windows to the whole electrical system to every piece of flooring, everything. It's still not done. By the 22nd of July, we left for 2 weeks in the best weather of Michigan. That people in Michigan love July and August because summer is short in northeastern Michigan. We left and told our contractors this will be done by the 22nd. But you guys, the foundation was the most important part. The foundation of the electrical system had to be repaired because it was causing problems and it was going to cause even more problems. Honestly, we're lucky the house never burned down. I mean, this 60-year-old house. And the foundation, though, on the ground, we didn't mess with the footprint because it's a solid slab foundation, and it's lasted 60 years, and it will last 60 more, and 60 more, and 60 more, probably till the earth ends, if the earth ends. So your foundation, your Mary Kay business, regardless of how long you've been in, is a perfect start, power start, pearls. This is for directors, on-target cars, brand new. So the dialogues are there, and you're going to have from our sales team and recruiting team all the ideas in addition to anything else. I mean, between In Touch and my website, everything is there. And so in your workbook, I'm going to go through welcome. Obviously, that's what I'm doing right here. And you're going to see, while we're talking today, there's going to be women that you're just like, okay, for my perfect start, I need to call her because she uses skincare. She'd be a good hostess. I've never asked her. She's never tried the product before. I've been too chicken to ask her, but now I'm willing. And so I'm going to ask her anyways. The worst she can say is no, and I'm not going to evaporate and die. And that's how I get stronger. I build up my muscle to, my people approval muscle. It starts to shrink as you get no's. Maybe it's 100 no's you need to focus on because you got to get over people saying no. I mean, I don't know, like as women, where did we get to the point where no was a bad word? Like we teach our daughters no is a good word, and then, with little kids at the grocery store screaming and yelling that they want something, this or that, we're like, no, and they keep going, they keep going, they keep going. They're not afraid of no at all. And all of a sudden we get to an age where no stops you from earning a car when your family doesn't need that $500 car payment, and your family could use the money instead of paying for insurance and car to put gas in that's at the highest price in our last 41 years. You guys think about it. Inflation's higher than it's been in 41 years. So that's my whole time in Mary Kay. Let's be clear. People buy Mary Kay in high inflationary times because we're less expensive than our competition, because we make our own products, and because you provide customer service. These are the economies in my 36 years that my customer base has grown. And then we have the highest brand loyalty in the cosmetic industry. So more people who start using Mary Kay stick with it. That means the customers you scoop up now, you should be in front of more women because you can save them money. and no one's giving customer service. You guys, restaurants aren't giving customer service. No one can get people to work. No one. You guys have no competition. Unless women want to spend a bunch of money to go to a med spa, which in inflationary times, it hits everyone's pocketbook. Why would they spend $175 on an eye cream when you can give them personalized service and they can spend a quarter of that? Because everyone's buying gas. So you're going to scoop them up. And because our brand loyalty is the highest in the cosmetic industry, that means more women who start using Mary Kay use it their whole life. They'll change a consultant before they'll change their skincare line. And that's why we focus on skincare, because remember the foundation? The foundation in Mary Kay is skincare set customers. Those are your customers that you evaluate the sustainability and the foundation of your Mary Kay business. So Trisha has on, you can see Trisha Eisenhart on the screen, the C-pen that she has on her shoulder. 100 skincare customers. 100 skincare customers. You guys, the reorder business in that, you can't quit once you have 100 customers. There's always someone calling you wanting something just when you get frustrated or disappointed about your progress. So start tracking right now. As soon as you get to 100 new skincare customers, I want you to let your director know and let me know. And I'm going to be sending you that pin with a bunch of fanfare and a coaching call. Because with 100 skincare customers, you can do anything you want in Mary Kay. There's a car team in there. For sure, a red jacket along the way in there. There's a unit in there. And if you don't want any of those things, that's fine. You're still going to share the opportunity because we're not going to be selfish and not share it because we don't want to move up the career path. We're going to share it because not over 90% of people are looking for side hustles right now. That was just, you can look on my Facebook fan page. That's a Washington Post or Wall Street Journal and CNBC stat that just came out this last week. Look at it. It's a post probably 5 days ago. So we're going to share the opportunity. We're willing, regardless of what our goals are. Obviously, if your goal is a car or a director, you have to. But let's not do it just because we have to. Let's share this opportunity because we get to. And let's share this product because we get to. So page you'll see in the workbook, there's a page for you to take notes on are you willing. We're gonna have a break at 10 o'clock and your assignment is to fill out creating seminar 2023. You're gonna fill this out during our coffee break, page 3, and you're gonna take a picture of it and send it to your director. And even if you're sitting next to your director, you're still sending her a picture of it because then she has it on her phone because our job is to coach you to your goals, not to our goals. Mary Kay taught us that we figure out what our goals are, we figure out how many women we have to help reach their goals, and then we forget about our own. So as I'm building an inner circle area, I'm figuring out how many new directors do we need? How many car drivers do we need? How many Queen's Court of Sales, Queen's Court of Recruiting, Princess Court of Sales, Princess Court of Recruiting? How many red jackets? How many stars? And then I get to forget about my goals and focus on helping my team reach their goals and supporting that. So this helps your director know. And then when you get discouraged and, frustrated, she's going to pull this back out. Just know she's going to pull it back out because her job is to coach you towards this and in line with this, congruent to it. So that is your challenge at your lunch break. The next thing one of the things on my YouTube channel you may want to check out as you're shoring up your foundation, as you're doing your perfect start and power start and pearls in July, or some of you are like, I want to focus on a team. There are team pages in here, Team 30 new faces, 11 skincare sets, 3 new team members. So you have a balanced full circle business. We're not just selling or just recruiting, booking, coaching, selling, recruiting, full circle. That's a solid foundation. So either a perfect start, power start, you want to let your director know that. Are you doing the perfect start or the power start or a team? And if it's a team in July, which team? And it doesn't matter with our virtual world that we now have. You can go to seminar and go on vacation and still do Team 100. I love that it doesn't matter if a hurricane's rolling into your area and you have to evacuate, you take your computer and find Wi-Fi somewhere, and you do 10 parties in other parts of the country that the weather's absolutely perfect. You know, going on a vacation, I know some of you are on vacation right now. I was on vacation last week. You still saw me. I love it that you can do it from geographically wherever you're at. And so let your director know, is it a perfect start or a power start or a team, 30, 50, 100? That's shoring up your foundation of sharing this product. That's where you learn how to be a digital diva. That's where you learn how to share this product in person. That's where you learn product knowledge. You guys, I'm seeing a lot on my website, on the YouTube channel. There's a video called New Consultant Huddle in video section, New Consultant Huddle. Some of you, you're always sent that. New consultants in my area for directors, they are emailed that link after they recruit. So in June, by the 10th to 15th of the month, they are sent my New Consultant Huddle, and they're told that if they watch it and text me, and they're given my personal text, then they get a gift from me. So that it allows me to have conversations with new people in our area. But if you're going back to shore up your foundation, watch that again. Honestly, for consultants, every July, I would suggest the New Consultant Huddle, a perfect start / power start and pearls, or a team, whichever you prefer, wherever you're at in your business, and the audio series on my YouTube, Boot Camp. Think of doing that every July and every January. Every July and every January. You guys, every time you listen to it, you're like, oh, okay, I'm doing good with that. Check, got it, I own it. You know, I own it like that chili recipe I've done 5 million times in my life. I can do it in my sleep. And then there's other stuff you're like, oh, the 4-point recruiting plan. Yeah, I got to figure out how to do that virtually now. You know, I know how to book, coach, sell. Now I got to figure out how to do the 4-point recruiting plan, etc. There's always going to be something that you're tweaking, whether it's in person or virtual. Directors, you may be focusing on boot camp first, or you may be going to the master series. That is for directors, for director skills, like the boot camp is consultant skills. So those of you who are like, I don't know how to be a director, I've never been in a leadership or management position before, you know what? We're going to teach you. Are you willing to learn? Are you willing to be coachable? The master series is right on my YouTube. I mean, as a consultant, I mean, I don't have Mary Kay handcuffs to make you not watch it, but I don't think, I mean, when people are in DIQ, I encourage them to watch it because then they're prepared for what they're going to be doing as a director. But as a consultant, I mean, if you want to, as long as you're still doing your consultant part and just not watching that and saying it's work, because watching is not work, watching is studying. You know, look at July and January as getting your master's again in your Mary Kay business. You guys, I see especially educators, they'll spend 3 years getting their master's online or in school and studying hours and hours every week. Hours every week. For a $6,000 a year raise, maybe after they take out taxes, you get to keep $4,000 and you have to do it to keep your job or be promotable? Wow. I can tell you a lot easier way to make $6,000. You could sell $12,000. You could do 10 parties at $300-400 a piece. And that's what, $3,000 to $4,000 in a month? You could be listening to this training along the way and make, you know, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 extra a month in a couple months versus 3 years. Are you willing? Are you willing? So the New Consultant Huddle, if you haven't watched in a while, that's a fantastic resource. On my website, also there's a new section called Dawn's Favorite Resources. So it's common things because I was finding that I had our team tracking sheets, our formula to coach yourself, you know, what does target market mean? things that I talk about a lot, that I train a lot, that have honestly been strategic ideas that I believe the Lord has given me to coach you and to coach the Mary Kay world. Those are now in my favorite section because otherwise they were all in different workbooks. And so I took all the things out of the workbooks, like my reading list. People go, what are you reading? You know, if I'm supposed to read something every day, what should I read? I have my reading list on there. Everything that we commonly refer to is there. Right now, you don't need it because right now, everything you need for this next 6 months or 12 months is probably in this booklet. But there are other resources that are going to be posted there. And on my YouTube channel, I now have a marketing section. So any of my videos that are to share the opportunity, you can pull those off my YouTube channel to share with people. But you will find this is my leadership for our national area. You know, I was taught by Debbie Moore and Kathy Hallou that in the fall, you did a leadership retreat. So directors do consultant retreats, virtually or in person. Nationals do leadership retreats for directors, and DIQs are invited to our leadership retreat. So that information is right here. If you want to be a DIQ, you definitely want to let me know and your director know ASAP, because we need you in DIQ either August 1st or September 1st, or if you're going to, get there just under the wire, October 1st. But why not do it sooner versus later? Because you could be a new director by this time. But DIQs, it's always my treat for my retreats. And so this DIQ's always my treat. You just get here. Directors can earn their retreat fee, and they already know how they can do it. It's Team 30 July, Team 30 August, Team 30 September. But you guys, Kelly Collins, who if you're going to seminar, you're going to see her. She is like in the food chain of Mary Kay. She's at the very top. She's in charge of the whole sales force. Kelly Collins came to us from another direct selling company that I don't even know. It's like a high-end dress company, but she was the #1 salesperson in that direct selling company. And then they hired her to be their CEO. And she's done that twice in 2 direct selling companies that, again, I don't even know what they are. They're not names that I recognize. But what I love is she's the first person I've known at Mary Kay that has Salesforce experience and corporate experience. And she was because of our area growing as fast as we've been growing the last couple years, having record-breaking years the last couple years, she asked if she could come and work with our directors and meet our directors and future directors. So I'm treating you to a beautiful dinner at the Detroit Athletic Club, which is one of the premier private clubs in the country. It's like if you were like Michelin 5-star, 6-star restaurant. It's beautiful. Our directors got treated to that a couple Mays ago. But save the date. Are you willing? If you're willing, I guarantee you, we can teach you how to get 10 women on your team and to grow this business, especially with the economy that we have right now. You are going to get to hear from the top directors in sales. They all did Queen's Court of Sales. So all our directors that did Court of Sales, Court of Sharing, Triple Stars, all had an opportunity to train. So the ones that are teaching you were willing to be inconvenienced and to arrange their schedule so they could share with you today. You have tracking sheets for Court of Sales, Court of Sharing. You have sheets, page, let's see, it's to mark down. You could even pull it out of your workbook. You can pull this apart, you can write in it. You can do whatever you want with this workbook. On page 13, make a list of who I need to contact. Maybe you want to pull it out of your workbook right now. So as you're thinking of people's names, oh, I need to have this person try the product. She would be a good person to be a hostess for my Perfect Start, my Power Start, my team. And then put an asterisk by her. These are the people I want to talk to about the opportunity. Okay, so there's a make a list. And something I want you guys to look at that I had my assistant type up because I wanted to say, all right, Team 30, Team 50, Team 100. Those were definitely strategic ideas that God gave me when I found that we were getting good at selling product, but it necessarily wasn't skincare sets. And that's what makes your business sustainable. That's the foundation of a sustainable Mary Kay business. And then I started to see, okay, we're selling skincare, but we're not team building in direct proportion to the number of faces we're in front of. And so that's thus the birth of Team 30, 50, and 100. And so take a look at this, you guys. At your lunchtime, pull this out and read this. Use this as a recruiting tool. This includes no team building income at all. It only includes new target market faces a month. And if you target market, again, go to Dawn's favorite resources, and it's in that coaching formula. It tells you women who hit 3 out of the 5 marketing statistics are considered target market. But I mean, look at the profit for Team 30 in a 12-month time period, $7,200. And these are minimum. I'm not giving you maximum pie in the sky. I'm giving you averages on the low side. And then Team 50, 12,000 profit. Team 100, 24,000 profit just from sharing the product. That's no team building. And that's also no reorders. When you add on the reorders down at the bottom, estimated reorders, I mean, 31,680 profit, 15,9,600 profit in addition to what you make from doing that team activity. You guys, those are serious numbers that could take a lot of stress away from a lot of families right now that are feeling the crunch of inflation. A lot. I mean, $7,200, that could help a lot of people. And that's Team 30. And that's just from selling the products. That's no reorders. So definitely pull that out. And that's on my website under Dawn's favorite tools, and that's also in the workbook that I would include in all your customer bags, virtually in all your parties. I mean, if it's not them, who needs it? If it's not them, who? Who do they know? And then we're going to have a lunch break. You're going to have an assignment at your lunch break, which I'll give you after our next segment. And then we're going to have a recruiting section. And in there, you'll have your pearls of sharing. So we're shoring up our foundation. Are you willing to shore up the foundation? Are you willing to do what we asked new consultants to do? Something I started to say and then got off on another trail. I'm hearing a lot when new consultants are responding to me about the huddle, that regardless of why they started, to get their stuff at cost, learn more about the product and opportunity, but they're acting like they have to sit in front of their computer and know everything about product knowledge before they start sharing the product. I need to learn more about the product. You learn about the product by sharing the product with people. I knew nothing about the product. We didn't have Mary Kay in touch. I had a starter kit that looked like a scientific experiment. It was pink naugahyde, opened up. It had tubes hanging from it, not real size packaged product. I learned about the product by doing my perfect start, and then my power start, and then being a star, and then wanting to do Queen's Court of Sales. I learned about the opportunity by earning my pearls, by getting my red jacket, by wanting to earn a car. So I did the interviews to get the 5, and then the 12, the 16, the 18. Side note, if you want a free car from Mary Kay, or directors, you want to move up a car, like giddy on up, July's important. Car production requirements change January 1st. And that makes sense, you guys. Cars cost more, insurance costs more. And Mary Kay hasn't changed the car qualifications for, gosh, more than a decade. Lots changed in a decade. Our company has to be very wise financially, because if they're not, then they end up like all the other companies that don't survive. We don't want that. What we do is too important. So if you want a car, there's tracking sheets for cars in the recruiting section. There's tracking sheets to become a director in the recruiting section. There's Queen's Court of Sharing, Princess Court of Sharing, all right there. So if you want a car, a free car, because once you earn the car with Mary Kay, you just have to be in qualifications before they change, and you stay grandfathered into the current maintenance. If you earn it starting January 1st, with your qualifications starting in January, you have to do the new qualifications to maintain and earn. So the cars right now are on sale. If you knew something that you used all the time that wouldn't go bad was on sale, you'd stock up. because we're wise stewards of our finances, right? If not having a car payment, and you can be a director with the free car, but you guys, you don't have to be a sales director to have a free car. Be a team manager. We have Kathy Fowler, an amazing team manager in our area. She's decided that's where she wants to work her business. And how fun. Her team contributed over 10,000 to the record-breaking over 70,000 unit wholesale in June that the Sweeney Wido unit did to earn the trip, because she wanted to help the cause, and it was her momentum month. Mary Kay gives you an opportunity with your cars to have a bank. She maxed out her bank. So if months are low, she pulls out of her bank. If months are high, she puts into her bank. I love when women help other women reach goals, it's always a win-win. She has a maxed out car bank. That's a really underutilized position on the Mary Kay career path. Team managers. You have a team of people. Your director's doing the events. Your director's being the director. You get to be a team manager and have no car payment and a portion of your insurance for you and your husband and unlimited mileage. I have never put pen to paper to add up what the car program has, how it's benefited my family, not having a car payment for 33 years. But I guarantee you that is what gave us the income for my husband to retire when he was 33, to pursue what God's called him to do, versus having those golden handcuffs of retirement and insurance, being a federal agent. I guarantee you it allowed us choices to put our kids in the private Christian schools, that every time they went up in grades or we changed schools, it got more expensive. And I remember sitting in parking lots sometimes going, okay, take a deep breath. All right, God, you got this. I'm willing. I'm willing. It also allowed them to go to college, the colleges of their choice, debt-free. You guys, it gives you choices. Weddings paid off, being able to take care of aging parents. You guys, it's free cars are a big fat deal. And Mary Kay always said, she goes, I mean, her feelings were really hurt. She would say, I understand why everyone doesn't want to be a sales director, but I don't understand why everyone doesn't take advantage of my car program. You guys think of that. Like that, when she would say that, it would hurt my heart. It's kind of like as a parent when you're giving your kids something and they don't take advantage of it, or God, probably like, I'm giving you all this and you're not taking advantage of it. Think about that. If that's your goal, definitely let your director and your national know. And then I always offer, when you meddle in our area, which is 3 agreements or more in a calendar month, they don't have to have ordered, just 3 agreements. Go in, as soon as they come in, you text me and we set up a coaching call. I like it early in the month so I can impact that month for on target car or DIQ if that's a goal. But also when a new consultant starts her business as a star consultant, I do a coaching call. And I'm going to offer in July, anyone who is a Sapphire Star in July, 1,800. Any consultant, new, old, shoring up your foundation. You may want to go on my website in the new consultant section and re-listen to the business strategy. Maybe it's time to start treating this like a business versus a hobby. Maybe it's time to be a business owner versus an order taker. That might be part of shoring up your foundation. And all the consultants that do 1,800s, you text me as soon as that's in, and we will do a coaching call. That's for July only. Moving forward, it goes back to what it says on the flyer when you start your business with your initial order. And then you guys get all the accolades of my buddy Sue Ubel, and I'm going to talk more about her before she speaks. But you guys, I wanted to share this with you before we go to our coffee break. This is my new favorite devotional, Fighting Words, and it's by Ellie Holcomb. And I wanted to share this with you as we start, because Debbie Moore gave me this verse when I debuted as a national in 2004. And you can just listen to this. You don't have to write it down because I posted this already on my Facebook fan page. But I thought this was a great way for me to end this segment as we head into the rest of our day. Proverbs 3:5-6. So you guys just listen. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him, and he will make your path straight. And Ellie goes on to say, I don't know what you rely on when life looks confusing. Turn the news off because there's nothing not confusing in our world right now. I don't know what you rely on when life looks confusing. And I can't tell you why you might lean into that person or thing, but I can tell you this. I've spent a whole lot of time trying to lean on my own understanding in my life. I've tried turning a situation over in my mind all day long. I've tried problem solving and strategizing and scenario making and all the things that come with trusting in my own wisdom. Maybe you've gone that route too when a curveball has come your way. But God's grace to me is this. I've also tried leaning on the Lord, trusting him even when my eyes and my mind can't make sense of what is going on in my life or around me. And you know what? I never regret the time I spent acknowledging him. Maybe I'm alone in this, but I used to think this verse meant that if I prayed and acknowledged God in my messes, it would make everything work out exactly like I wanted it to. I know that's not true now, but I also know that God is a way maker. I've seen him show up in the most dire and dark circumstances to make a way from hopelessness to hope, from darkness to light, from fear to peace. It may not have looked the way I wanted it to. It may not have matched one of the scenarios I tried to forecast. But in his own time, in his own way, somehow he made the path straight. Time and time again, I walked right out of a situation that I thought I was trapped in, that I thought had no logical way out of, but his hand holds me and guides me through. And I can look back and see the love of God moving in ways beyond my understanding. He makes our path straight. He leads us in the face of confusing or impossible when our best plans and strategies fall short. And all we have to do is to look to him, acknowledge him, rest in him. That's the kind of God we follow. I don't know what situations you need a straight path for, but I sure do have plenty. Instead of leaning into our own wisdom and understanding, let's acknowledge the Lord, the Waymaker, today. And you can check this out from the Facebook fan page. I encourage you. She always gives you 3 questions and a prayer. The questions, what does leaning into your own understanding look like for you? Why do you think we often trust in our own strategies to solve our problems instead of acknowledging the Lord? In what past situations have you seen God unexpectedly make your path straight? Think of some circumstances you've been trying to solve all by yourself. How might you lean into trusting God's ability to make a way today instead of leaning into your own understanding? You guys, if you've never read the Bible, if you've never journaled, on my website, left-hand side down, under education, 30-day journaling challenge. I'd love for you to do that. That would be a great way to shore up a spiritual foundation in this next 30 days. Because I think I was talking to Judy, she started experiencing God on workbook. And I will tell you, my business before trusting God and doing things in my own energy, it took me to double trip $850,000, $900,000 director. But I don't believe I would have been able to get any farther because I was at the end of myself. And I think God draws women to him. And maybe it's because it's been my journey. So I see lots of women like this drawn into my area and into Mary Kay, that you operate very successfully in the world. If you have a job, you figure out a way to do it. In school, you figure out a way to be a good student. You figure out life. But God's like, okay, now you're going to do life my way. Now you're going to learn to trust me in the gap. You're going to trust him with all your heart and not lean into your own understanding. Whenever you say, I don't understand, stop it. You don't have to understand. When people do stuff and you're like, I just don't understand, be happy you don't understand, because if you did, you'd be her. And that may not be a good thing. There's lots of crazy out there. There's lots of fear out there. There's lots of people relying on human wisdom and human knowledge. You guys, he's best than the brightest on this planet. And on all your ways, acknowledge him, and he will make your path straight. I have this posted up in my bathroom where my jacuzzi tub is, and an Epsom salts bath. That is just the next day I feel great. It's such an old-fashioned thing, but try it. Epsom salts in a tub. all your aches and pains are gone. And I had just moved artwork around, some up to the lake. And so it put a blank spot there. And I had this that Debbie gave me. I put it up on the wall. And so as I take a shower or I'm in the tub, I'm memorizing this. And as I memorize it, then he's teaching me more about it. And you guys, this is our verse for this year. You know, he will make our path straight. You know, trust in him. What does that look like? If you're worried or anxious, you're not trusting him. Lean on not your own understanding, not the world's understanding, not religious understanding, not anyone else's understanding other than his ways. Acknowledge him and he will make your path straight. This is the prayer that I'm going to end this session with. So what you're all going to do is you're going to leave, you're going to fill out that page, your seminar 2023 goals and intentions. You're going to send a picture to your director, and then your outline is right there. We're going to be back here at 10:15, and that is going to be our book coach cell training. And so this is the prayer that she shares. And again, you can look at this on my Facebook page. Lord, help me continue to acknowledge you in all my moments so that whatever I'm facing can be eclipsed by your deep love for me. You know the situations I carry today. I give them to you, and I ask you to make my path straight in your timing, in your way. We ask this all in Jesus' name. Amen. Okay, you guys, enjoy your little break. Get your assignment filled out. Directors, I want you to fill yours out and text it to me. I will see you back here at 10:15.